Hey. Welcome everyone to the MPD Podcast.
I'm CC Bass.
And I am Wil Cameron. And we are
two seasoned musicians.
And we're here to help you to become your best musical self possible. But hey, I got a quick question for you. Quick question. So, have you ever used age as an excuse? You can see from the gray hair, I'm no spring chicken. So I want to ask you a question. There have been some times that I have used my age as an excuse to not do something. So I want to ask you if you have ever used age as an excuse. So that's what this podcast is about today. But before we get started, I want to remind you to check us out. We've got a YouTube channel. It's MPD Podcast. We've got like an Instagram account. We've got a Facebook account. Like us on Facebook. We're trying to get to a certain number of subscribers, so we really want you to go and subscribe to that channel and do all that stuff for us. But I want to turn it over to my partners in crime here. You'll notice there are 3 of us here as opposed to 2. So, Cece, why don't you tell us who you brought along with you today?
Well, so, back in season 3, we talked about debunking musical myths. And one of them was that you're not too old to play. And so the title of this podcast is Age is Not an Excuse.
Correct.
So, Will, you and I have been playing since we were young. And so, it's one thing for us to speak about it, but to actually have somebody who's lived it, who didn't start playing music till later in life, actually having somebody on the show to do that is speaks more volumes than us just talking about it.
Absolutely.
And so today we have a special guest. She is a poet. She is a dancer. She does line dancing, and she is also a speaker for that. She gets up and speaks her poetry, and she's written 2 books. I actually have one right here.
Oh, you have to also mention she is like a huge jazz fan, because every time we are someplace, she is there.
She is there. And she is now a guitar player. So I want to introduce Miss Patrice Smith, and we're going to talk to her about her experience today. So welcome to the show, Miss Patrice Smith.
Thank you.
Great. Glad to have you. So wanted to just kind of get right into it. I want to know, really, what actually inspired you to play music later on in life versus like starting at, as a child?
Well, I actually started playing a piano as a child, but unfortunately it didn't go too long. It didn't last. So when I was nearing retirement, I said, I have time now. I could do some, learn something new. And I had read that learning to play an instrument or language was a good way to keep you in good mental health after you retire. So as you age, I should say.
Interesting approach. I had never even thought about that aspect of it.
So that's what the experts say.
Okay.
Excellent. So why do you choose guitar over other instruments?
Well, I like the versatility of the guitar. I love to hear it played, and I thought it would be easy. I thought it would be easy to learn, so it looks easy when someone's playing it, but I found out otherwise.
So, you all, just to give you a little bit of background here, I've actually been working with Patrice a bit, and I actually hooked her into a guitar teacher in which she's been taking lessons, but I said, let me go over and see what Patrice is doing. So I took my bass over and to our house, and I found out that she was playing My Girl, and I said, okay, this is great. So let's get a bass and guitar thing going, and so we actually played the song, but this is more than just age is not a number. This is also about confidence, because there's a difference between the first video we shot and the second video that we're getting ready to show. So when we shot the first video, she was playing at a certain level skill, and but she didn't want to show herself on camera. So you see me kind of doing like this into the camera. But unfortunately, that video didn't quite make it because it was kind of too grainy to show. But there is a complete difference between that video and the video that we're getting ready to show you now.
Yeah.
So if, let's take a minute to listen to the video. It's a short little thing here to show what happened.
Okay. Hang on. I'll get it right now.
And we're back. This is CC Bass, and this is Patrice Smith, and today is July 8th, okay, and the first video we shot a couple weeks back playing My Girl, so this is the what a couple of weeks of work is done in some confidence building. This time she's actually on camera, so a bit of more confidence there, but we're going to show where we are with My Girl here. So I forgot my bass amp, so I'm using this little tiny distorted amp, so please disregard the distorted bass sounds. But anyway, this is about her, okay? Ready? One, two. 1, 2, ready. I've got sunshine, cloudy day. In the month of May. Well, I guess so the difference between the first video and the second video, she's now on camera showing herself. She's got more confidence and she's strumming the guitar a lot harder. Please don't mind the goofy person playing the bass. I don't sing Great Googly Moogly, but in any case, it was to showcase her and to show that, this thing is possible at any age. So I wanted to ask you, Patrice, what have you found to be the biggest challenge in learning an instrument now?
Well, there are some challenges physically because my fingers get stiff sometimes, my hand, and I get tired using this hand, my left hand, a lot. Sometimes the information takes a little longer to process, but those are the two major things that I found to be impediments, but not, deterrents.
Wow.
Okay.
Do you have any? Right. Do you have any other friends who have been inspired to play because you're playing? Have you run into any of those?
Well, they have told me they want to learn, but I don't know anyone who's actually taken the step. They just said, "Oh, that's something I'd like to do," or "I'd like to learn." I've had a few people say they like to learn to play the bass.
Great choice.
Fun instrument.
No, I don't know anyone who's actually started yet.
I have like just one more question if I could ask her. So
Absolutely.
I know you're a poet. So do you have any thoughts about using your music now that you've learned a few chords and you've learned how to play some? Do you have any thoughts about actually using your music to go along with your poetry, or is that kind of difficult to talk and play at the same time? I'm a drummer, and I hate to sing and play, but there are times that people say, well, we need you to sing backup, and it's hard to play and sing at the same time. But you have any thoughts about that?
It's a bit challenging, but I have thought about it, and I would like to do it at some point, when I become more confident and competent.
Yeah. That would be cool, though.
I wouldn't mind doing it. Yep, I've thought about it.
Yeah.
On that vein, Patrice, because I know that you speak to audiences and you present your poet. I've actually gone to see you present your poetry in front of people, and actually online as well. So, tell me about kind of the confidence you have there, because you seem very confident and in your element versus having that confidence to play the guitar. Do you find that it's different or it's kind of the same challenge?
Yes and no. I'm not as comfortable playing a guitar. I wouldn't be as comfortable playing a guitar in front of an audience because I don't feel accomplished enough. Poetry is something I've been doing a lot, most of my life, and I started performing about 5 years ago. So I've built my confidence just from stepping out there. I was nervous and I had some reluctance in doing so, but I was urged by friends and, just the desire to get out there and have people hear me. So now I just practice and go for it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's good.
Excellent.
Nothing like good friends to inspire you too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we hope to have you back on the show at some point. This time rocking it out. Singing along and doing some dance steps while you're playing.
Right. 3 things.
So, yeah, exactly. So, is there anything that you want to leave the audience with? Because I have met a lot of people that a lot of aspiring musicians that say, you know what, I'm too old to learn how to play. That's a young person's game. Or people that do play instruments but don't feel like they are capable of learning anything else. Do you have any tips for them?
Well, I would say go for whatever you're interested in. Whatever instrument that you like or you think you might like, just try it. Before the guitar, I did not have that in mind, but I said, why not? And so I picked it up and I tried it. I put it down a lot, but I kept picking it back up. I try to stick with it. It's hard sometimes, but because I like it, I have a passion to want to learn to play it. I keep going back and, getting it. And I hear my instructor all the time saying, practice is the only cheat. Practice is the only cheat.
Yeah, that's great. That's what an incredible story. And Cece, what a great idea of grabbing her. This has just been awesome. Patrice, it was so nice of you to join us. We do this kind of regularly, and it's so nice to have a living example that relates directly to our episode number 3, where we were talking about this. And it's just great to have a living example. And we appreciate you coming in and sharing the segment with us. And Cece, thanks for grabbing her and actually doing all the expert video and singing.
Thank you so much, Patrice. Yeah. Oh Lord. Thank you so much, Patrice. So we'll do this again. And if anybody out there, if you have an idea for a show, we would love to hear it. Really, it's about you. What is it you're struggling with, and what you want to hear? We've been getting some great ideas from people thus far. We've also been using what as Wil and I are talking to musicians and what they the common themes of what they're talking about too, and that's how we're coming up with the ideas for the show. So we appreciate it all, and stay tuned for next time. Please make sure you subscribe to the podcast.
And the
email. We're trying to reach.
And the email.
Absolutely.
Yes, and it's right down
there.
There.
It's MPD Podcast at gmail.com, and you can also like us on Facebook at MPD Podcast. So that's it. That's a wrap, and we are out of here.
Okay.